Well, I won't lie. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I will report back. People were laughing in the theater. It was me. I was laughing. But Michael, I'll start with you because they do say that trust is the foundation of every marriage. But you guys, I don't think they meant it like that. But
yeah,
I do want to ask you about just like, did you know Cate before you guys worked together? And also, how did you develop the rapport for this on-screen marriage?
We'd actually worked one day together on a Terrence Malick movie, Song to Song, but it never made the movie. And we then met at a sort of some awards do, I think in 2014. But that was it really. And then when we got together, we didn't really discuss anything about the relationship, the characters. There was a lot of clues in the script, and I was just, quite excited to see what she would bring once the camera started rolling. Obviously, she's so experienced and brilliant at what she does. I thought, sometimes it's best not to talk. She started talking, I was like, just show me.
You guys both transform. You seem so different than your characters
that's cool.
in real life. So it's beautiful to see you guys transform.
Nice.
And you rock a good turtleneck.
Yeah, that's always the turtleneck. I think I do quite well because I think I do creepy characters well, and I think turtlenecks and creepiness they're borderline. Yeah.
Do you ever wear turtlenecks in life?
I always feel like when I've got them on, I want to do like the milk tray guy. Sometimes I wear a turtleneck. Just depends on what Alicia wants me to be that night.
We've been in this room a minute.
And he already had the guys cracking up. Marisa, there are 6 spies in this. We're following all, the storyline and all of these characters. But you do a great job with Clarissa to make her stand out. The comedic timing. She's just a relief in some of the intense scenes.
Thank God.
No, of course. And you also said that this was a career highlight for you. Was there a specific moment that emphasized that for you?
Well, I guess, I thank you for saying that. I think with Clarissa, it's just in the script. The writing is so brilliant. And when I first read the script, I was so excited to be a part of this project potentially. And so that was part of the reason that I felt like this job was so exciting. That compounded with all of the other actors that we were working with and Steven, and everyone attached, I was working with like Ellen, for example, the costume designer. It was so involved, and I would send her ideas of what I wanted to wear, and it would all be there in the fitting. And it was just, I felt like everyone was working at this just incredibly high level. And that's always a really exciting thing to be a part of.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ray, you didn't get turtlenecks. I'm sorry.
Did I get no turtlenecks? I feel like I was fighting you for them.
Yeah. You were wearing an imaginary turtleneck.
The character was based on turtlenecks. You just don't see them on the screen.
He's charming. You do charming very well.
Thank you very much.
And
despite my lack of turtleneck.
A little bit of the ego-centered character. So tell me about James.
James is a man of multitudes. I enjoy playing him because he's exactly the type of character I'm drawn to. He has this very repressed, buttoned up, almost sociopathic drive. And I think that he's at war with himself because he also needs a place of trust. He needs a place of intimacy. He needs somewhere to land. And I think that's where Naomie and I actually had a lot of fun in our scenes, because that's where you're really at war, not just with lying to each other, but also lying to yourself. And so we got to play with everything, the internal struggles, the external struggles. And so, yeah, I like having more than one thing to put into the mix with a character. And I think that this gave me an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, no, we definitely get a lot of character development.
That scene is fantastic.
It's so good.
It was so much fun.
And it's all in there. Everything you just sort of said, it's all in that performance. So great, that scene.
I will say, I'm the first one to defend you against the James Bond rumors. I'm like, let it rest. But then when I saw Naomie and I saw Pierce, I was like, you know what? Hell yeah.
No, that's Steven playing with you. I didn't ask for nothing. Steven's asking. Steven is just like, you know what I'm going to do for my press? So in the casting, he's like, you know what? I'm going to play with you throughout the movie. I'm going to just place pieces of spies and Bond and things that you already recognize or have a subtext in pop culture from. I do actually genuinely think he does that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's playing multiple layered games with an audience at all times. And that is part of why we can work this freely when we're working with him, because you know that he has a plan, he has a plan under the plan.
And a bit of tongue-in-cheek.
And a little bit of tongue-in-cheek. He's a funny guy. He is actually really quite funny.
It's true.
Yeah. And Michael, you've worked with him before.
Yeah.
Back in, I think, 2013?
2010, actually.
2010.
Yeah.
What was it like revisiting?
It was kind of like it was like, I've said this, sort of meeting an old friend. It was kind of like it wasn't that long ago. 15 years seems like a long time ago. And it felt like just sort of stepping back on set. It's exactly the same kind of atmosphere that it was back in 2010. It's just very relaxed. He's just, very good at what he does, on so many levels. And I think that permeates sort of a confidence on set. And he allows people to do their thing and doesn't in terms of actors, there's not much notes going on between him, even discussion if you see him working with the gaffers or any other crew members. It's very concise, simple, never really see him lose any patience in a situation. It's just a very nice, pleasant atmosphere on set. And then, I think he's got that confidence that when, he calls action, the tension is there and whatever you need it to be. And then it's very relaxed.
Would you agree?
I mean, it was incredibly fun, especially those dinner table scenes with there's so much going on. And we were able to be really loose in between takes and just meant for a really relaxed, respectful environment that then when the cameras roll, we're just, ready to go.
Ray, I wanted to ask you about those dinner scenes because if you think about it, there's not many places that you guys shoot particularly together too. It's like the office scenes, but the dinner scenes are so important to this movie.
Well, they're where everyone comes together. They're the
Yeah.
heart of this movie. They bookend the movie. They're everything that I think defined this experience. They're everything that drew me to the project, and we've all spoken about this. In terms of knowing that you have a David Koepp script that is exceptional and clever and complex and layered. You have Steven Soderberg helming it, so he knows how to bring this home. And then around that dinner table, you're playing this verbal intellectual tennis with Kate, Michael, Naomie, Marisa, Tom, Pierce when he's in the room in the other scenes. The standards of the game you can play with the other actors are out of this world. And so that's a joy for an actor because you no longer have to push anything. You just sit back, stay limber, react to what's coming at you and let yourself be surprised. It's a real privilege.
Yeah, no, you explained it perfectly. Last question I want to ask you guys, because you guys have played roles where you change your accents back and forth. What is the hardest accent to do?
I think Dutch.
Give us your Dutch, Michael.
I'm okay. Dutch accent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I dread the Fargo call. Like one day when you got to do, wait, where's Fargo based?
Fargo's like Minneapolis, is it? Or
No,
Minnesota? Yeah,
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think one day I both relish and dread having to do Minnesota.
Scandinavian base, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where a lot of
It's a
Scandinavians
very
ended up.
specific shape.
I find the Welsh accent really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
You end up in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I don't mind
Or
accents
India.
that are very strong because I feel like there's stuff to grab onto. It's the ones that are more like diluted or just subtle that I find the trickier ones.
That's what I find for that Minnesota region accent.
Well, it's because it's close to something you think you know, and then it's just off.
What's Juno Temple did a fantastic job in the last Fargo.
Yeah.
So that was great. She was great in it.